Hello guys, hope you're all doing okay. Um, yeah, so we're going to be doing some skin texturing today, mostly. I have finally set myself some actual proper deadline. So I've got 4 weeks to finish this. I'm going to do whatever I can to finish it in that time, and whatever I have at the end of 4 weeks, I'm considering that done. As such, I'm going to limit the range of the project a little bit. So I'm no longer going to go to try to like one-to-one match this whole image. Instead, I'm going to do just a close-up. I'm still going to experiment with lighting and have some fun. We may match the lighting of this, but I'm going to focus on a much tighter portrait. Something more like that, really, or maybe that. I just want to avoid spending too much time working up the clothing, making it look just right when the face is the bit that matters. But yeah, so we're going to be focusing on some Mari work today because the lips were looking quite weird. And then once we've done that, next stream probably do a little bit of work on the top of the clothing, just start like getting some topology in there so we can do some actual shading. And then we'll figure out how we want to go about the smoke effect, because I still think that'll be a lot of fun. What I'm thinking instead is have like the shoulders like towards the corner of the image be where it turns smoky, so it kind of fades into the background. But we'll see. Nothing's certain yet on how we're going to do it. But yeah, so that's it for my pre-ramble. We're just going to focus on skin texturing for today. So yeah, let's get started on that, I guess. First off, hey Kosi, how's it going? Hey Kiriato. Right, so let's get into Mari. So there's a few questionable choices I made like earlier on in this process. For example, the stubble. It's definitely too aggressive, and it needs some kind of breakup on top of it as well. So let's quickly throw that together, and then I'm going to focus on colouring in this area here. So do I have a stubble? That's blackheads. Lip base, lip, call stubble. Okay, there we go. So we got this guy. Okay. So we're going to want to grade this a bit more aggressively, I think. View that, and then I'll multiply that. Oh shit! Then I'll multiply that with a different noise. Might go halfway between those two values. So let's go 7.5. And this one will go 7.8. There we go, that feels better. And then we'll multiply this with a really tiny noise. Okay, so let's create a merge. Although we can just do a straight up multiply, I think. Be a little bit more correct. There we go. And then let's grab a noise. Perlin, maybe? No, I want a cloud. What we want to do with this is just catch little bits of variation on each hair. That's too much though. stuff like that, just so they're not all the exact same brightness. Okay, and let's go a little bit darker. There we go. So that feels a little bit more organic. So now we need to just focus on texturing. So let's go into color zones red. In fact, do we have a blemishes? That's veins. Merge. Eye socket darken. That looks like a blemish layer to me. It might not be. Freckles. Stubble. Lip base, lip secondary. Maybe I was just using this. Okay, color red zones. So we're using this as a mask. Let's quickly get some face albedo. I want to find some kind of nice, nice lip ref. Where's that image we just saw? Yeah, so get a little bit of mottling and stuff happening here. I need to get that kind of darkening effect for the stubble areas too. Let's add this to our ref. Let's drag it over there for now. Okay. That's the image I wanted, but it's fine. Let's dock that back over here. Okay. Let's get some more organic brushes. There we go. Let's try this one. Where's my pen? There it is. I think that brush has some potential. I just need to lower the strength of it. So let's go to tool properties. Okay. Makes him feel a little bit more alive than he did before. The inside of the mouth is a bit weirdly coloured. We'll need to go in there and do that at some point. Okay, is there a yellow layer? There isn't. Wait, don't I have a fatty layer? Huh, apparently I don't. Let's get a bit more blue down here. Okay. It's a bit splotchy feeling, so I need to be careful with that. Let's go to shelf, see what other tools we have. What's filthy airbrush like? So that could give some cool effects. What's dirty airbrush like? Oh, that one's nice, okay. It's also very subtle. Okay, let's go into the UV view. What's the inside of our mouth? That's the eye, right? I think that is. That's inside of the mouth. Maybe worth going back to the UV view and just avoid painting the edges. In fact, actually, a better way of doing it. Let's paint it fully in. Okay. Then we can do a blur. Okay. Perspective. So now what we need to do is somehow find an angle that allows us to see. What are your thoughts on AI? Just curious. That's a very broad topic. Is there any specific part of it that you want to hear my thoughts on? Why couldn't it take over UV and topo work? I mean, it could. I wouldn't say it couldn't. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, that would be the areas I'd want it to take over, right? The non-creative areas, or less creative areas, is still creativity and retopo and UVs. Okay, then lower eyelid. I need to do the same on the other side, because I don't think blur works with the projection. that'll do for now. Start the other side. Yeah, I've got a lot of fears about AI, but I feel like every sector, not just VFX, should, right? Like, it's one of those things where, like, anyone who thinks they understand it is probably wrong. Like, the rate at which it grows is insane, and actually, if you watch 2-minute papers, the speed at which it's happening now is ridiculous. You know, I've been watching them for years, and then all of a sudden, everything's, like, happening all at the same time. It's not what, you know, most people I know would have expected. Some people are like, oh, it won't take jobs because blah blah blah. It's like, well, you don't know that. Like, I don't think it's gonna wipe out everything. Like, it's not gonna make it so that people don't have work, but I don't know what it is gonna do. And so yeah, it kind of scares me. Currently, it's a great tool, but I don't know where it'll be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Okay, that'll do. The way the dark circles around the eyes are currently textured in feels a bit shit. Wait, it's that corner I need to get. There we go. So let's work our way through some layers. Weird eye, dark circles. Eye socket darken, there it is. We need areas like this to be smoothed out. Okay. Do the same on the other side. Jumping quality has been mad. Yeah, it's been insane. I mean, even watching just one algorithm, let's just say Midjourney. Like, I got Midjourney a month ago. I've since cancelled it because I don't really need it. I just wanted to try it. But like, it's in that month, it already had like 2 new algorithms, or at least like the new V4 thing, where it's like taking on more of that OpenAI thing, where it's like more realistic but less concepty. And the results are insane. Like, it's improved so much. They're just constantly one-upping each other. It's terrifying, honestly. Okay, so that's that done. What other... Let's check our spec roughness maps. I need to get that don't I? Okay, this is the layer that has the weird like blend thing happening. Okay. Let's get some more variation in there, shall we? One thing to remember is that the map is being augmented in the shader quite a lot. There's that. Merge. I want to set this to add subtract. Let's grab a clouds. In fact, what can Voronoi do? And what settings does it have? Like, can it do weird shit? Not really. Okay, let's cellular noise. What can you do? If we invert that, it's the same as Voronoi, isn't it? Huh. Okay, clouds. Set this to add subtract, see if I can remember where that is. It's hard light, right? Is it that? No. I mean, the easy way to do this is to set this to add and do a range. Remap. What's the name of it? Grade. Hey, Elio. Is it Elio? Grade. Try that again. There we go. So we set this to be -1, I believe. Or we can just offset the whole thing. In fact, yeah, let's... Okay. I'll set this to add. Lighten. Add. There you go. Let's add some track now. Mid-0. It's just to get a tiny bit of variation on there. Okay, let's spread this out a bit more, shall we? Okay. What other maps do we have? Wetness, I think that's working fine. Yeah, it's not working fine. That is a lot more blending. Alright, let's get the blur tool out for this guy. So we're going to get some seams back there, but I think that's okay. Shouldn't affect what we're doing in the visible areas. So that's going to be a little bit better blended now. Maps do we have? Micro bump, that's fine. T-zone, that's fine. And paint. How is this? Oh, looks like it's broken. Delete it. I'm not too worried about whatever it was. I don't like that though. A bit much. Or is that the blemish layer? That is the blemish layer. this is a bit too much. Let's okay, we're getting some more interesting colours now. Okay, let's fill that into red as well. Fits better. Okay, so the eye darken is definitely a bit funky. And a question, I've watched a lot of your previous streams and I was wondering why I switched from RenderMan to Arnold for a specific reason. Arnold was included with Maya. I switched to it during the Sticky Monsters project, and at the time the Aces implementation was a bit nicer. And there's also an element of I just wanted to try something new. I just kind of enjoyed it. Obviously, professionally, I continued to work with RenderMan until I left MPC. So it's kind of, I also wanted a bit of a change from work. I didn't want to always be doing the same stuff. And now I'm at Digital Domain, so I'm using even more different stuff. But yeah, I just kind of enjoyed experimenting. And the reason I still use it is simply the Foundry bought my license for me. So I've got, like, not an obligation, really, but, like, I have a reason to prioritize working with Arnold. So I don't want to be rude and have them buy me a render engine and then not use it, you know? Okay, so where's that redness coming from? Is it this? It is, okay. Hey, Koji. Sorry, last video, congrats on your job. Thank you, man. Today was my first day. It was a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. It's a little bit chaotic looking, but it might be what I want. Yeah, it feels better. Right, so there was something a bit weird going on with the middle seam there, wasn't there? Yeah, what the hell is that? There we go. Now, do we want to get any of this, like, white stuff in there? I feel like I kind of do. So I'm gonna go and add... Where's lip? There's lips. Okay. Let's do... Let's create a merge here. Come on. Okay, fine, I'll connect it myself. Okay, I'm going to create a color. It's actually dead on what we want. And then let's create a paint node. We're going to set that to have a solid alpha. 16-bit 4K should be fine. Scalar data is correct. I'm just going to call this merge lip chapped. Okay. So we're going to have to do this with a basic brush, I think. So we're going to want to highlight the edges of some cracks, basically. That is way too strong. Painting. No, tool properties, sorry. Then we want pressure blend for flow. We need to blur some edges of it for it to work. My professional experience has been only feature animated film for 8 years as a modeler. Start being interested in drawing VFX projects. Do you think it's pretty tough to get into a VFX studio? If you've got 8 years of experience as a modeler, it shouldn't be difficult to get into VFX. Granted, I'm not a modeler, so I can't say with any certainty. I don't want to mislead anyone. But I think with that amount of experience in animated film, or just animation in general, whatever it is you do, you should be fine. I don't imagine having any issue. Best of luck to you though, man. If there's any way I can help, do let me know. Like, if you want me to give feedback on anything that's like more VFX-y, like if you try to do any like a reel for VFX style stuff, I'm happy to give some feedback, or at very least forward you on to people who know a lot more than me. Thank you. No problem at all, man. There you go. That's enough to give a general impression of what I want. So we'll have to see how this renders now. See, I don't like quite what the disk details are doing. Okay, so that's adding detail back in. I feel like this needs to have multiple factors to it. Like if this was to be more varied. Let's fix that, it's really bothering me. Okay, so let's get the lips chapped back here a little bit. So, in fact, I don't know why I did that. So, can I merge? Let's gonna try doing something a little different here. Let's create a purlin. Okay, so for one of these, I'm going to change the saturation. Let's take it lighter and the value higher. Something like that. And this purlin noise will blend between those. Something like that. It's not really doing much. Keep forgetting to go all the way over to here. I think that's a little bit of variation. when did that happen? Okay, I need to reload that. File, import. This may take a moment, a hot minute, as it were. %, getting there. Come on, Maury, do your thing. There we go. Right, okay, so can I lock a node? But let's not bother. Let's just get this stuff gone. I'm wondering if I should replace that with a color node. So replace that with a HSV, sorry. Come on, there we go. Okay, then clamp the result of that. What works better? This will be more dynamic. Let's go with that. There we go. Right, so let's just quickly, I can't archive really. Let's go to channels. So I've updated Col skin and Spec R skin. So let's get these updated. Export manager. Is it an 8-bit channel? I mean, if it is, so be it, but like... Right, it is 8-bit. Okay. Cool, in that case... Export current. Yep, that's fine. And once this is done, we can update the TX files, and then I need to update my Katana scene. So I'm not rendering the cloth and messing about with any of that stuff. I want to keep it nice and simple. Then I might go into ZBrush and do a little bit of mouth sculpting. It's baking the shader, might take some time. And guess while that's going, let's get Katana up and running. Okay, so we want to remove this guy. What's in here? Clothing, yeah, that's good. That's what I want. Global settings. Okay, this is the one I don't want. And then the face cam. Cool, it's not rendering depth of field. Good. He's overwritten a test file that I did off stream. So I do need this to finish before I do anything else. Let's go to Arnold, Utilities, TX Manager. There's an error message that was there for a moment, or a warning of some kind. Not responding. It's probably exporting the last few things then. There we go. Oh, baking shader. Oh, now it's doing the other one. Okay, so that was just one of the maps. Okay, I think that's that done. Come on. Viewport just locked up. That should be that done now though. So let's just sort by name. And we got Col Skin. We're gonna remove TX for selected. Okay. Then generate new TX files. This is without the bump map on it, so. Do I actually have the disp? They don't have the disp itself imported. Okay, so that's done, and then we need Spec our skin. Cool. So that's that done. We should now just be able to render this. I just want a 1K square for this. Yeah? Just waiting for this render. One sec. Yeah. Becca says hello. Becca says bye-bye. Yeah, I think it's streaming till about 9. Cool. I'll be playing a lot of Teardown later. Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. So renders take a while now because of a few things. Primarily the eye setup. I might simplify the eye setup for preview renders just while I'm working on the skin. But primarily, it's the amount of subdivision needed for the skin details. Oh, did I have the skin shader turned off? I need to double check the hair shader settings then. Because I may have accidentally lost that. Head hair material. Nah, it's back. Alright, cool. I did a bit of tweaking on the IOR and all that sort of stuff off stream. It's very subtly different, but it now just feels a little bit more like hair. Let's kill off that though, because we need to see what it looks like with all the other stuff going on. Okay, let's try again. So now that I'm rendering with the eye shader, there's a 50% chance of render failure each time. It's my favorite feature of the setup. It's quite unstable. I think I know why it's unstable. Yeah, there we go. I think I know why it's unstable. It seems to be linked to the fact that both of my eye projection cameras have the same name. they're just grouped differently. Because it's only once I did the eye projection. And with the Ys. Do you mind not spamming the chat, my dude? Press E. Oh, what do you mean press E? Press E for what reason? Let's try the other one. Because this one looks like it's rendered. Wonder why that one rendered first time. It might not have rendered first time, who knows. Let's give it a moment to start its render. Now that we have all the displacement, it's going to be quite slow. Come on, Arnold, you can do it. No worry, Elio. Hope you're having a good day, man. Yeah, it's like 1 AM in France right now. Yeah, no worries, Cozy. Have a good night, mate. God, this run is taking its time. There you finally. Something's off. It's kind of fixing itself. His eyes has got a bit lazy. So it made the eyelids more thin, but I didn't think I moved them back. So it looks like we need to move the eyelids up a tiny bit. Let's get normals passing now. Yeah, so I also continued that down. That's fine, because that's something I knew I did. That feels a bit more natural. This area here. Not that though. Albedo. What happened here? This one had more of a roundness to it, the old one. Check a Spec Direct. We've lost a clump. And our roughness is definitely too low, I think. Spec roughness, I mean. He's feeling a bit shiny. Especially on the nose. So let's check the skin shader for that. Something funky going on there too. I'm going to need to revisit my sculpt, I think something's happened. I feel like I need more identifiable marks on the face as well. Because currently it's feeling a bit too colour zoney. If that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any identifiable, like, you know, there's no spots or specific blemishes. It's all just kind of generic feeling. Okay, so I'm liking the new eye bags. The new eyes in general are quite light. It just feels like the top eyelid is too low. It's giving them like a lazy eye feel. Fixing that line has helped, although I feel like the top is too red now. Same as down here as well, this is way too red. It needs to be pulled back a little bit. As it's rendering more, I am starting to prefer the new cheeks as well. This is definitely broken though. This is straight up wrong. So I need to look into that for sure. And do we want to part the mustache as well? Yeah, that's too red. No, he's pulling back quite a lot. Definitely need to reduce the darkening up around the eye. This one. Feels a bit better. Kill this render. As baking shaded 20%. Right, so let's let this do its thing. And next stream we'll focus on the sculpt. I think get a bit more detail around the lips and work on the ears, as well as maybe reduce the strength for that next to the eye. This is a bit too strong. I need to work on the eyelashes a little bit as well. Okay, so maybe the next stream is sculpt and groom. Next stream will be Wednesday as well, by the way. I've got a pub quiz tomorrow. See, one thing about flattening out this area is this version feels a little bit more youthful against this one. So I might add a little bit more fat back into the top of the cheek there. Okay, it's almost there. Let's get to here. Cold skin. Do your thing. Okay, let's get into here. is this thing? But yeah, so for this project to be done, we got, I think, 4 tasks. We need to work up the head hair groom. I mean, all the grooms are not particularly strong, but the head hair is the weakest. Shading, I think, is okay. Just the groom itself, I mean, I don't really like Yeti for the digitables. Beyond that, we need to work up the sculpt of the face a little bit, just to give it a little bit more of an organic feel. Then we need to shade the clothing to look like cloth. And then we need to set up the volume shading thing for the cloth. I think once we've got those 4, we have like a functioning project. Is then just a case of finding a nice lighting, which I don't think should be too difficult, to be honest. And if we're just doing like a close-up, like a portrait, it's a bit easier. You see like 3 passes deep before it starts to work, doesn't it? There we go. It's a bit healthier. I think that works well enough. Okay, so I think that's where I'll end this stream, because we've made a bit of progress on the skin texturing. So next stream, I'm going to focus on the sculpt, I think. We'll push this as far as we can. We'll also refine the collar of the coat and the shirt. And then, yeah, we can look into starting to shade them. And eventually we need to move on to the hair. I think the hair's going to be the last thing I do, just because where it currently is works well enough. It's not good, but it functions. Anyway, so we can work a bit. We can work that up a little bit more once we got the other stuff. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to let this get nice and clean off stream. As I said, next stream will be on Wednesday, so in 2 days. Should be around the same time, so starting at 7 o'clock, maybe earlier. Not entirely sure. But yeah, we'll see where it goes, I guess. In the meantime, have a good night, guys. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.